GM, everyone, welcome back, happy new year, merry Christmas. It's good to be back, Craig, mate, good to see your lovely face. It's been a 2-week break for us. I think I definitely needed it personally. I'm sure you did as well. But yeah, chat, good to be back. Obviously the market is pumping pretty much as of January 1st, so love to see it. Americans tax loss harvest into the end of 25 and then bought the dip pretty aggressively, but we'll get into a lot today. We'll talk normal show style. We'll obviously talk about macro. We'll talk about memes. We'll talk about some trades that we like and whatnot, what the market's doing. But yeah, Craig, mate, how are you today? And Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Greenie. Merry Christmas and everything else. Went well. I know you had a bit of a rest. So did I. Like you said, it was much needed after you and me had sort of streamed 2 years of a bull run pretty intensively, wasn't it? Bull runs are pretty, they're exciting, but in a community and things like that, it can be very tiring, keeping up with everyone's needs and the noises so much. So it was nice to step away. Happy New Year to all our viewers. Welcome back. I see a few old faces there. Angelos is back. Yana's back. Good to see you guys here. Shout out to, was it a guy called Brad? Brad. It's the only way I could talk on this is through my YouTube because I can't chat otherwise. So I added my YouTube because there's no, but I think it's good. Is my running a bit funny, Greenie?
Yeah, it's a little bit glitchy. I don't know what's happening, but maybe it'll hopefully be better now. So yeah.
Let's see if it goes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just chat on Kick, so I got Kick up open on this screen over here. So
I should open up my personal Kick. Actually, that's what I should do.
Yeah.
But now, good to be back. And like we were talking off stream, good time to be back. Obviously, over the last 7 days, memes started pumping. Pepe, obviously, we'll talk about that. Led the charge. Bitcoin, I should actually say probably Bitcoin led the charge, really, didn't it? Like it gave us at least crab sides of a pump. We'll talk about that. But no, happy days, brother. It's nice to be back here. I've been excited or looking forward to streaming again. I didn't miss it. I did notice yesterday my one light. I went to test all my shit. One light's broken. I was like, great start to the stream. I was like, that's fantastic. So I got to go get that bloody fixed. But other than that, dude, probably a bit rusty getting everything set up, but it is definitely good to be back, and it's super awesome to be back with the timeline. A little bit excited and a little bit more to talk about than there was probably before.
Exactly, and then I mean, like, it's engagement's gone back up again, which I love to see. Like, it was dry out there, man, and I think the algo changed too, so that was even more brutal because you had to adjust even more so than what you had previously. So I actually caught up with the founder of Reach, and we literally spoke about the algo and how it's changed on Twitter for half an hour. It's crazy. So yeah, it's good to see you back. I mean, I had some tweets like do all right overnight just because they're meme coin focused, and I love to see that. So yeah, we'll dive straight into the show. But obviously, like, it's just, again, here is just a very simple TA technique. Like, look at where Bitcoin is held. It didn't have one, what are we on here? The weekly. It didn't have one weekly close below the 382 fib. Right. Now, what I do like about that is that traditionally in a bull cycle, if you have a trend like this, a bull trend like this, and it hasn't broken macro structure, which we have not seen yet, even lower highs, we still have higher highs and higher lows. So macro structure is still okay. But what you like to see is if it is a strong trend, it should bounce at early fibs, not retrace down here. So that's the first sign of maybe we get a nice relief rally up to like 107, 110. A lot of people are like, Greenie, you're bearish. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I am macro bearish. And there's nothing that you can change my opinion about at that moment. It was like one of the, and we'll talk about this too, because it's the first show of the year. So we can look at those macro high time frame charts. We'll look at the yearly chart, we'll look at the 6-month chart, look at the quarterly chart, we'll look at the month chart, because they really tell a different story to maybe what we're seeing here on the weekly chart, where there is a bit of strength. We have a higher macro low and we're bouncing off that 382. So look, Craig, I'd love to get your thesis too, but before we dive into the show, guys, as always, massive shout out to our two partners, Yeet and OKX. You can sign up down below, guys. I've literally got all my buy orders. I'm not logged in, but I literally have all my buy orders ready to go from here all the way down to 50K. Let's go. I can't wait to Oh, people are gonna hate me. People are gonna hate me when I still, and we'll talk about this why. But anyways, I got all my buy orders ready to go down here. I literally don't actually own any Bitcoin at this point in time. I own some other plays, which we'll talk about later in the show, and why I'm doing that at this point in time in the cycle. But yeah, anyways, massive shout out to OKX. You can sign up down below, guys. If you do, I think $1,000 of volume, you get 75 bucks for free. And it is the safest exchange in crypto. Guys, now I was keeping track of this. I know the community was like, Greeny, haven't given, or Craig, or both of us, you haven't given away any cash for the last couple of weeks of the year. I thought, well, hold on a bit. Mando's got us on a tight budget. We need to be aware of this. I had a look and we had about $4,000 of volume in the past, like 15, 16 days of the month. So I was like, nah, that's not deserving of a giveaway. However, we will give away some cash this week on Yeet. So guys, please make sure you do some volume, because if you're not doing volume, I am tracking this literally. I'm tracking this right now. If you're not doing volume, I'm just going to give it to the people at the top. And it's pretty simple. But massive shout out to Yeet. Maybe their airdrop will drop this year. We're not sure. We don't know. 40% is going to the community. So you can check them out down below as well. Now, Craig, I think we start really high time frame.
Yep.
And then really high time frame and start talking about maybe some of these key levels. We'll draw it out. Because at the moment, it is not a very nice looking chart. I think that's the real, like, before I dive in and before I analyze it, I want your take. What do you think about the market right now? And GM to everyone, it's good to see everyone back. Angelos, Rocky, Next, good to see you next. Rocky as well. Fish, good to see you. Legend, Yana, Mortal B, something. Oh my God, that's a spam. I need to delete that.
Yeah, Mortal
B. I have an AI. Oh, let's go, mate. AI mod's working. It deleted it. Let's go.
Oh, great work, Greeny. Yeah, high time frame.
Angela says, sorry to cut you off. Yeet potentially rumors Q1. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Flora, GM to you as well. Craig, what do you think? Give me your take before I dive in and analyze it myself.
Yeah, sure. Look, look, fortunately or unfortunately for the viewers, it's actually the same take we've had since Q3/Q4 last year. I'm still favoring a lower high. So I'm enjoying this pump from Bitcoin, if you want to call it a pump, off the low of, I think it was 80K. I'm still leaning towards seeing a lower high. So for me, same numbers as you, obviously key levels, 98 to 100K, 106K, 116K, something around there. The only issue I have is there's so many of us waiting for that. And I'm seeing so many people draw that out. And that does make me wary, but that's kind of what I'm feeling the chart showing me. I still think there's universe, and I've said this 1,000 times, but Bitcoin does have a new all-time high in 26.
Yeah.
I'm just not leaning that way heavily. TA bullshit.
I love it.
That kills, those comments kill me, man. Come with data if you're going to say that. Because exactly. We can. I can draw your pictures all day if you like. But no, for me, I'm favoring a lower high. Or a relief bounce, relief rally, which actually for me isn't a bad thing, dude. I'd love to say we go all-time high in 26, but even a relief rally is still, we're seeing what that's doing to meme coins now, even Bitcoin breaking through 90K. Yeah. As soon as it did that, everything else started sending. Well, your leader sent, your Pepe and your memes and a few alts, I suppose. So I don't think that's a bad thing. And I still think, and you and I were speaking about this, where we said we might be looking for a Q1, Q2 meme and altcoin rally to kind of end the bull run. I think we're seeing that play out now. So I think the good thing for you and me now is something you and me called for probably the last 3 months. And I know we sounded like a broken record end of last year. People must have been like, man, are these guys ever going to change what they say?
But it was bloody right, wasn't it? Hey?
I'm glad it turned out to be, it's semi-correct at the moment. In fact, you could say correct, semi-correct. And if it continues higher, it is correct. And I think we probably, while we may not have made people a lot of money over that time, I certainly would like to believe we saved people a shitload. And I think that's sometimes in trading, it's not always about making money, it's about keeping your money. And I've learned that the very hard way. Actually, in crypto, Greeny, making money is not hard, I don't think. Keeping it's really hard. Because obviously you'll take profit from one thing, you'll chase another because you feel you always want to have your money working for you, which over time I've learned sometimes the best thing to do with your money is put it out of reach of yourself and don't let yourself touch it. So
100%.
That's probably my thesis, lower high with a relief bounce with alts and memes catching a bid due to that. Obviously there are other factors at play, QE. We've seen daily exchange volume starting to bottom and move up now. So there are some good things coming, catalysts. You got rate cuts. Whether those have a massive effect, we've yet to see. But look, there are bullish catalysts. I don't know if they're the reason for a new all-time high in 26, though. I don't know. I'm open to it, but like you and I have always said, I'm going to let the chart lead me rather than me try and ram my thesis into the chart. I'm trying to be open-minded, and that's probably the hardest thing to do. Is all of us have a bias, and you've really got to try and undo that. And it's kind of like being a schizophrenic. You've kind of got to unplug it out of your own mind and look at yourself third person and be critical and really honest. Not, tell yourself what you want, but it's kind of what the market's doing. So for me, let the market lead. The market's telling me what it's told me for months, and that's a relief bounce until we see otherwise. Look, if we break through 106K, then I can start getting pretty excited.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, the higher time frame levels is GM to you, Theo. I hope you're doing well, legend. For me, I think 107 to 112 makes a reasonable sense, but there's a lot of resistance up there. There's probably untapped liquidity that will probably get drained. I mean, there's just a lot of resistance up above. Yeah, no dramas, mate. If that happens, but as you can see here, this is the yearly close. So everyone's like, oh, where's our, like, on low time frames? People don't ever look at these charts. That's the first thing. Highly recommend at the end of a year, at the end of a quarter, at the end of whatever it is, okay, go and actually have a look at some of these high time frame charts. Maybe Craig is no longer, Craig isn't, I don't know if Craig's here or not. Anyways, he's stopped right now live on the show. Paulina has subbed for a month. Let's go, Paulina. Appreciate the sub. Let's go, guys. If you haven't subbed to the channel, we very much appreciate it. You can sub on Kick. It definitely goes a long way. We very much do appreciate it. Oh, maybe Craig will be back, guys. Craig will be back. Here we go. Oh, no, not back. I thought I heard the noise. Anyways, I'll keep running the show. But what you're looking at here is a yearly close, right? And so for me, with the yearly close, this is a blow off top. Everyone's like, oh, where's your blow off top? Where's your spinning candle? Well, it's right here on the yearly close. And what I do, like, this doesn't necessarily mean that we can't pump up to these levels and make a new high. But what this does show me is that there's a few things here that the trend has shifted, right? So a doji candle like this usually shows two things, okay? It usually shows us that there's indecision in the market. So buyers and sellers really don't know where price is heading or what they want to do with price, okay? The second one is usually it is actually a reversal candle. So when you get a big blow off top like this, you get a doji candle like this, okay? It usually does insinuate that a reversal on a high time frame is about to take place. So likely, if you look at this, we had 2 years of bullish price action. We then had a spinning top. Yeah, it's definitely better. And then obviously from there, we then would maybe think that 2026 is a bearish year. So we'll wait and see what happens again at the end of this year, and we'll come back to this chart. But what you have noticed here is for the first time since basically like ever, this is the third, like in a bull cycle, what everyone's talking about, this 4-year plan, blah, 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 blah. I irrespective of that, I don't even play into that like time sort of thing. I just look at what price does. I look at stochastic momentum. I look at candles like this, et cetera, et cetera. But what we're looking at here is the third candle. Usually we see 3 bull years. This is the first time that we've actually seen 2 bull years and then a bearish year. As you can see here, back in this cycle from 2019 through to 2021, it was 3 green candles. In 2015 through to 2017, my first cycle, it was 3 green candles. And then the cycle before that, way back in 2011 to 2013, 3 green candles before the bearish year. So it's the first time we've broken that in history. That's something to be aware of, right? Maybe some questions could be why. My answer to the why is because we front run a lot this cycle. We set a new all-time high before the halving. That is, again, unprecedented. So that in itself is a reason why maybe this cycle topped sooner rather than later. But then if you look at timing, this cycle actually topped pretty much on path with bear market low to bull cycle high, or from high to high. This high from 2017 to 2021 is very similar to timing of the high of 21 to 2025. Now, I don't blindly follow one specific thing, Craig. I like to look at a range of different things to find confluence to then make a decision on high time frames. So that's at least the yearly chart. Is there anything you wanted to add to this from your take?
Only thing I'd add to that is look at that candle in 24, man. That is humongous, and it kind of counts as 2 for me.
That's a $50,000 candle. That's a 50 without the wick. That's a $50,000 candle.
Unreal.
That's nuts.
So, Yeah, for me, just looking at that, you look at 2020 and 21 combined, you
Yeah,
join those together. I
yeah,
mean, I know this is a bit of napkin math, but the candle in 24 is probably still bigger, you
yeah.
know? So
It's
it's like,
obviously going to be less percentage. It's going to be less percentage, diminishing returns as price goes up for sure. But yeah,
but certainly we had a great 24, and for me, kind of makes sense to cool off. Well, I mean, look, was I expecting higher? Nah, it kind of hit our fib levels, dude. You and me were saying, what mid 120s to 137k. It was about
yeah,
124 to 137 from memory. And what a tap, 127,
yeah.
dude. Pretty spot on. Did I expect higher? Yes, maybe. Maybe we're hit high in 26, but no, I completely agree with everything you said. Unfortunately,
Now we got a couple more charts. This is the 6-month chart. So what we notice with this one is, again, you have a very bearish wick up here, which is again maybe a sign that we have seen a blow off top. What you have here is what I'm more concerned about. Okay, usually, again, like you can't history doesn't repeat, it rhymes, so that's something to keep in mind. But what you notice here is traditionally at the end of a cycle you do see 2 back-to-back 6-month bearish candles before you do see that next rally of that next bull cycle. So as you can see here, back in 2018, after the top in 2017, we saw back-to-back 6-month bearish candles. In 2021, okay, we saw back-to-back bearish candles, okay, before we then rallied. Are we about to then have another 6-month bearish candle? And then at the end of this year, it's actually the first sign that we maybe get something like this, where it's a smaller candle down here, a smaller end to the year. And then 27 is actually the year that we start to reaccumulate and head back towards maybe a higher level. So again, this is just something to keep in mind. Again, it's not a live by. Some of the comments here are like, oh, like you can't just say, yeah, 2 times isn't a great sample size. Yeah, sure. But I mean, it also happened back in the past too, in 2013. It's just not on my chart here as well. And of course not. It's just something to be aware of. Okay. What is history rhyming potentially as we head into the next couple of months? This is the 1-month chart. Now, this is probably the 1 month and the 3 month are probably, let's go 3 months first, because we're going down chronologically. Now, the 3 month is the one I probably have the most concern about, because now it's starting to apply sort of a little bit more, like we get more 3-month closes than we do get a 6-month close and a yearly close, right? So it does play a little bit more importance. As you can see here, we haven't broke bullish structure, so that's always something to be aware of. But we have this huge bearish engulfing candle. So what that actually means is this candle here basically it's probably like 3x the candle before. So what that means is that is humongously bearish. Okay, so for me, on a very high time frame level, we need to probably start to close back above 107k. I think it is, if I pull it up on my chart. It's 107k. Is that critical level? If we share this chart here, 107k. Let me change the setup as well. We're playing around with the setup. There we go. So now you can see everything. But this level here, 107, is my high time frame level that if we don't close a monthly candle, a weekly candle, maybe even a 3-month candle above that, then yeah, we very much are having a lower high, and we are very much going to confirm that complacency bounce, okay? And we're going to confirm that bearish trend continuing into 2026. I need to remember, in a new year now. So that in myself is a very bearish candle here. Even at the top of like last cycle, it was a very different sort of start to the bear cycle. As you can see, a massive wick here. But even back here, we didn't have a bearish engulfing candle. So this is the first time we've had a very top potentially forming, and then we do start to play back into the range. I mean, there's so many ways you could draw this. You could say this is the bottom of our range down here, okay, and this is the top of our range. Okay, where's the 0.5 of this range? If we have a look, okay, the 0.5 of our range, I don't have it on this one at the moment. 0.5 of our range is about 71k. So that's probably a pivotal level to be aware of as well. But yeah, the 3-month for me was something to definitely be aware of. You've got 107 is basically the bottom of that last quarterly candle. So that's the level to be aware of. Stochastic is at also 108. So we could trade all the way up to 110, but I closed below 108 on stochastic momentum after 3 months. So at the end of March would pretty much confirm my opinion that we are heading into a bear cycle for 2026. Okay. Why? Because the stochastic at the top is a trending indicator. It's a lagging indicator, but is a momentum indicator. And as you can see here, for the first time, and I talk about this here, it's the first time we've hit the 80th percentile in history on the quarterly chart. So that tells me, okay, well, that's very potentially a top. Okay, we can set a lower high, okay, but usually it does take time for that to play out. Now, again, if basically what happens at the end of March will confirm my bias for 2026. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Greeny, that's so far away, but that's just how trading works on high timeframes. Okay, you have to be patient. You have to understand that these things take time. Let's zoom into the last one. I know maybe people don't appreciate this, but I think, I mean, here, Nigma's in the chat. Massive shout out to Nigma. Nigma he's joined GTG as a trader now. Love to see it. Love to see that man being a bit more active again, which is great. But yeah, hopefully people appreciate this, because you're not going to get this analysis anywhere else. I promise you. I promise you. So drop a follow and drop a sub. Appreciate Paulina, who's subbed to the channel.
Yeah, good on you, Paulina. And shout out to Nigma. And I agree with Nigma's comment there. We could see a high form in Q1, but close red going into Q2, Q3. I actually 100%. Agree with that. I was actually going to say that when you were showing the candles before. I was like, we could actually see a temporary green and then actually reverse to red. So yeah, that was a good one.
There was a slip up, lol.
Don't clip that, man. Shit. Anyway, I agree with Nigma there.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, basically, this is the last chart I want to look at from a high time frame. And again, you don't get these closes very often where you have 4 charts that you can look at and analyze on a high time frame. So I dove into these. I wrote this down for GTG. I explained what I'm thinking for all these levels, and I let them all know how I'm kind of positioning ourselves. Even another guy this morning pinged was like, hey, Greeny, like, I'm just a bit unsure about the markets. What do you see right now? So I wrote him out a little bit more of clarity, sort of just to help him understand what potentially could happen. So here we have the monthly chart. Basically, price didn't do anything last month in December, but what it did do is confirm a few other things. So stochastic, as I just explained on the 3 months, confirmed an aggressive bearish move. So as you can see here, it is now aggressively coming to the downside for the first time since about the end of 2023, okay? Which is pretty crazy to think about. The monthly level on stochastic is 117K. So again, if Bitcoin closes below 117K on January, then yeah, this is confirmed bearish high time frame analysis to the downside. Now you can have, as you can see marked in yellow, both in the past couple of cycles, you can have a lower high, which means we could push up. Like in 21, we could push up and have a swing higher. But in my opinion, this cycle, I don't think we go higher. I think we have a lower high. Now, does that mean that we can't make money in this little move here from where price is at 87 to even like 110 or something? Then yeah, absolutely. And that's where I'm bullish on low time frames, but bearish on high time frames. And that's a big difference when you're looking to trade crypto. But the last point here is bottom on monthly stochastic usually takes, again, based on previous cycles, as you can see here, 791 days, 486 days, 609 days, 608 days. But basically, on average, again, you don't. It's not going to repeat as easy. It could be 500 days this time. It could be 400 days. We don't know. It could be 700 days. We don't know. But on average, 628 days, which would put us at about sort of late this year for a potential bottom on at least stochastic. Now, does stochastic bottom equal price bottom? Not necessarily. We have seen previously that price actually front run stochastic bottom. Okay, as you can see here, back in 15, it actually price bottom just before that. Okay, in 2019, price bottom before that. Okay, then stochastic bottom. Same in 23. I can't see my years, but same as 23. Okay, the price actually bottomed at the end of 22. Then we saw bottom at the end, start of 23 before we rallied. So again, these are just, again, high time frame analysis that I like to look at so that we can stay up to date with what we are thinking on a high time frame and then zoom in on lower time frames to look. Craig, what do you think about all that? Is it just absolute nonsense what I've just discussed, or what do you actually do you think that people need to hear that? People need to hear that.
No, I think a very fair take, and I think the last probably 15 minutes of the show is probably gold. What I mean by that is from the point of view of everything else is going to be determined by what you just said and what Bitcoin does. So as much as we want memes to pump and alts to pump, because I know the majority of the people watching here are probably heavy or more heavily into memes and alts and Bitcoin, most likely. Unfortunately, even if that's the case and you dislike Bitcoin or don't have much of it or don't care about it, the market's led by Bitcoin, and then above Bitcoin is other cycles, right? But for us, the main thing we focus on is Bitcoin because it leads the market. So you've really, for myself personally, and hopefully other people catch up with us, if I'm correct, is knowing Bitcoin allows you to trade other things, even NFTs, more effectively, because without Bitcoin at least crabbing sideways, if Bitcoin dumps, everything's out the window for me. Like, if Bitcoin pulls back to 80K, I don't think memes are still going to run hard. I think they're going to dump.
No,
So
they're going to dump harder too, and that's the thing. I
exactly.
wrote about this too recently, Craig, because everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you just hold meme coins if they outperform?" That's the biggest bullshit thing I've ever read. Okay, what
Yeah.
you should do is take an active approach to the market. Okay, so for example, like I bought Rect, I bought SPX, I longed SPX, I longed Farcoin. I actually longed Bonk too, but I bloody closed it because I was like, no, 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 we could pull back, but we didn't. I was too, and again, these are trading things that I'm trying to work on. I literally got my journal down here. I'm like 26. I'm a crazy man. I started up a whole Notion. I've got my trading journal here that I'm writing about every day. So I'm a changed man in 2026 to be better,
Yeah.
because this is my goal, is to make more money trading, to help out people learn, to educate people in GTG, and to just to provide value to you guys every single day. So these are like, I make mistakes and I'm really annoyed because Bonk's up 30%. Like I had this long, I literally, look at this. I had my long, it would have hit my first TP, but I closed it so early because I was like, oh, hold on, BTC could reject from, it was because of this level here. I was like, okay, well, I'll hold a couple. But if BTC doesn't close like a weekly or a daily above this level, then I was like, we're about to flip back towards probably 86, 87 again. So I was like, I need to take some profits. And of course, I took profits probably on the one that pumped the most, but that's trading. Okay. At least it's still profit. I still made money. I made like a couple $100, whatever it was. But I like, again, these are things like Greeny, there's a high time frame setup. Step away. Log out of your Bybit account. Step away. Stop trading. Come back to it when the trade's played out. I think that's my biggest skill or a lesson from 25 to 26. Enter a trade, you know you're good at this shit, be confident in this trade, step away and let it just play out. Stop taking profits aggressively, stop moving stop loss to break even aggressively, and just let it play out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good take, and completely agree. And look, it's a good time to be talking about all these things. Like I said, great to be back on the show today. Bitcoin looks great. I mean, the move up from Bitcoin from the lows of 80 back up to like 92 or 91 was great to see, dude. That got me pretty. I'm not going to use the word euphoric, but got me excited because I was like, I think memes might run now, and sure enough, they have. And you and I have been talking about it for a while. I've been waiting for white whale. We can talk about that. That was sort of the first indicator for me that something was changing in that a coin that wasn't. You didn't have all your normal influences inside. It seemed like a semi-organic runner, which I haven't seen for a while.
Did you get into it? I've taken profits.
Couldn't get an entry, man. Couldn't get an entry.
I'm in for, I'm no longer in on this, but I got in at about 19 mil. 19 mil.
I called it at 21, 23. And I was like, I'm going to wait for a pullback. And it didn't come to about 70,000. And that dip there was the pullback to 40. That was the one.
I mean, it's up to
I didn't enter there. I was a bit cowardly. I was a bit wary of a rotation from there to Pepe and things like that, which did happen. Obviously, you had White Whale running for about 3-4 days, and then Pepe since I wondered if things were rotating. Obviously, they didn't, which is great to see, but that's okay. It's not about catching every trade. It was just seeing that alone. I would start to take notice, and that's what I've been saying. In GTG and things like that. It's like, don't be trading, but just keep your finger on the pulse, because something's going to come that makes me or us think something's happening. White Whale for me was that signal of like, 100%. Okay, hang on, this isn't failing at 10 million. This isn't failing at. Quite often they've been failing lately. The good ones are about 30 to 50 mil.
Dude, not even 5, 10. No,
I must admit, like I was probably a bit wounded from last year in regards to entering memes. So I was a bit gun shy. So my confidence probably took a hit. Which is probably what fucked me up on this trade. That's okay. But now, like what you've said, I've got to start being more risk on, I think, again now. I think this was the sign that perhaps risk on was the move. And then sure enough, memes went fucking nuts, dude. So
dude, it's so hard, man, because you've got people like OSF like tweeting out like this is a great time to be risk on. Like if like this is like where you got to take risks, you got to look to lock in and potentially make this move. It's just like my high time frame bearish analysis is just like, it's going to, I just like, unless we flip 117, unless we flip 110 and start closing weekly candles or daily candles above that consistently, then my opinion, it's going to be a lower high. So it's like, it's all about trading within that time frame. How, like, I don't see Bitcoin aggressively dumping. That's the other thing. I think maybe it might it might trend up slowly and then trend down slowly, which will hopefully give us a sustained market conditions for us to make money on meme coins, to make money on NFTs, for all these airdrops like OpenSea, MetaMask, like Solstice, all of these airdrops that have been talked about for months and months and months. All of these will hopefully bring more liquidity to the market, and hopefully we get a sustained sort of period, maybe till May, okay, where we start to have opportunities to make money, and that's very much a sell back to stables. And I mean, I don't even own any Bitcoin right now, and I want to talk about why. I don't own Bitcoin because I think there's better opportunities in the market right now, and you're seeing that. Like, I made a 3x on this. It was a very small bag because I had one, I didn't own any Solana. Two, I had to move like $2,000 across. Like, I had to buy Solana, move it to my wallet, move it across. I only bought like 3 or 5 SOL of this, so I didn't even make a lot of money on this. But it was like, okay, like you said, this is the first sort of sign that I had that. Okay, usually if you have a decent runner like this where a lot of people aren't aware of it, that's a good sign that there's enough buyers stepping in, there's enough liquidity in the market, there's enough attention back in the market that we could see a little bit more of a sustained rally. Match that with Bitcoin's strength, at least over the last week. We are about to close in about 26 minutes the most bullish weekly candle that we've seen literally since, I mean, this is arguably this is the most bullish weekly candle we have seen since this candle back in the 20th of October. So
it's been a long
that is
time.
huge. That is huge, right? That's a 3-month wait, basically, before you start to see this. And we are closing now, hopefully. I mean, we don't know, 26 minutes, anything could happen. But we are closing above this weekly level. We've got a few levels just in this little mini range here, all the way up to about 94. But if we can close above that, then I would say, yeah, we start to push probably back towards the psychological 100K. There's a lot of confluence at 98K as well. But yeah, it's an interesting market. I think we get this lower high. Maybe it takes a few weeks to play out. And then once you're in this market, it allows everything else to rally. And I mean, I put a tweet up this morning too, Craig, of the difference. And this is why it's so important to follow a show like us, right? Because we keep you on the pulse about what's actually emerging as a trend. Look at this, okay? Memes versus altcoins. And like, this is, again, this shows me the engagement. Okay, people are interested again in crypto. 9,000 views on a very simple tweet, right? But as you can see, this is meme coins, okay? Green, green, green. The lowest performance is 1% on PopCat. Yeah, who the hell's buying PopCat? Everything else is at least a couple percent, right? Look at this. This is your altcoins. Aave, Say, Kato, Tay. These aren't even like bad altcoins. These are pretty popular altcoins. Meteora, Monad, like LTC Curve. Like, these are relevant meme, like altcoins. And look at them. They're performing like shit. So it's so important to be aware of people like this who are giving you education every single day, okay, who are telling you, okay, well, like, why is this? Because it's attention based. They're going to bounce the hardest. They will dump the hardest. So make sure, like we've been saying for multiple years, Craig, take some profits off the table when you're feeling euphoric, or when you're up multiple X's, or when you're even up 20%, whatever it is. Take some profit out, have a plan, move stop loss to break even, all these sorts of things, because at the end of the day, these will dump to zero. I promise you they will dump to zero in a high time frame, and they will. But at least they will give you an opportunity to trade the market, and that's the beautiful thing. Like, I didn't long a lot. I longed 2 positions. I longed some Filecoin and I longed some SPX, because I was like, you know what? These are the 2 that I think will perform best in the meme coin space outside of Rect. I bought a big bag of spot Rect, which is my trade setup of the day, which we'll look at shortly. But yeah, I mean, this is all because Bitcoin's starting to show some strength. And if you don't understand how this market works, how markets move in crypto, literally watch our show every day and check out GTG, because we educate you how to understand how these market trends work.
Yeah, spot on. I think the key now is to aggressively take profits for the next 12 weeks. I think that's the key. You don't want to get left holding the bag thinking, you know, if you get, like, if say you're up at 2x on Pepe or whatever it might be, or Bonk or whatever, probably a good rule of thumb is just keep taking profits on the way up, because these might not run as high as you think. They could run higher, but I would say the key is probably get initials out at 2x and then ride house money from there. Because like you said, when Bitcoin does pull back, which it will, these are going to dump to fucking hell. And when they dump, it's going to be fast potentially. And like you said, they can go down 90% really fast, and your gains could go like that. So myself, I'll be trading again, but pretty aggressively until I feel more confident. I mean, look, Bitcoin breaks above, like you said, 116, 117,000. Yeah, man, start throwing house money at it probably. Any on-chain trend, anything that emerges, you'd literally just play a couple grand into that. And I think you'll win. But the key is take profits aggressively, get initials added at 2x as quickly as you can. But enjoy this next probably Q1. I think it could be pretty good, man. And I'm certainly looking forward to trading again. It's been a long time since I've been able to get my hands dirty on something other than say Bitcoin. So I am looking forward to it. So no, exciting time in the market. Great time to be talking about the market. I mean, Pepe's
Yeah,
that's the
so
one.
run us through your analysis on this or what you're thinking at the moment.
Yeah, so for me personally, at the moment, I'm looking for us to break and hold above. What was it? Let me just bring up Pepe. 7-1. So I think it's 5 zeros and then 7-1.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
basically where it is. Yeah.
yeah. So I needed to close above there. So I missed the move from the bottom. So I made a call in GTG and said, look, I don't want to call this now because obviously it's done a 60, 70, it's done about a 60% move. So it might need to cool down because it was the front run of the memes. It may cool down. Overnight, it started cooling down and then it looked like it started pumping again. So it looks like there's still excitement there. What I'd like to see is a daily close above that level, the 7-1, 7-7-1. And then from there, I'd be looking from a trade to 1-1 or 1-4-5, which would be 50% and a 2x move. So, look, the numbers I'm talking about aren't massive moves, but I'm being conservative, man. So I'm saying we could bump our head at the 50% level there, which is pretty typical. It acts as pretty big resistance, as you guys can see there as well. So I'm looking more for heavier swing trades. So go in heavier. And then invalidation level would be dropping below that 7-1-7, man. Anything below there. That's why I want to see closes above, because the only hesitation I have about calling this right now is we still could close below that and then cool off for a little bit. I don't think this move's done.
No.
I'm just reluctant to just go now because this has just moved so aggressively. But in saying that, probably a good opportunity to start looking at other ones that are leaders or winners, but perhaps haven't had this sort of move yet. Obviously, Pengu has as well. But I like.
Not a lot. I scanned about 50 different charts yesterday to try and find a couple that this is the thing too, because I'm longing it. I'm like, I don't want to chase the move now.
Yeah.
I think we do see a pullback at some stage potentially, even if it's like a pullback to the 236 on most tokens or a pullback to the 382 or something like that, even the 0.5. That's where you got to be so actively watching these charts on like a 4 hour and a 1 hour and take advantage of that pullback. Then look for the longs there. Okay. Whereas like something like I was looking at a few, like Ton, for example, was one that I got interested in. There was another one. I can't remember the other setup, but basically, Rect. Rect was a little bit delayed actually, and now it's pumping 13%. But yeah, Rect was a little bit delayed. So if you come and have a look, I bought quite a lot like yesterday here. So before it pumped up today, and I was like, hold on, like Bonk's broken out, Doge's broken out, Pengu's broken out, SPX, Pepe, Farcoin. I was like, Mog as well has been very aggressive. So I was like, well, hold on. It's so obvious that Rect is going to break out aggressively too. I plowed 10 grand into Rect, and this is why I'd much rather buy Rect here and trade it up into this area here for a 2x, maybe 3x up, than buy Bitcoin and get $1,000 on like a $10,000 trade, right? So whereas this Rect could make me $50,000 if it goes back up to these sort of levels, right? So that was a thought for me, and that's my trade setup that I'm like, I like this where it was yesterday. It has broken out a little bit, has rejected from the 786, so do keep an eye on that at the moment. But something like this for Pepe, it is, and this is another thing I want to talk about too, Craig. I've spent, a lot of people probably stepped away, and I did step away for crypto for sure. But what I stepped back into over the past week was literally study. I've been following so many people on Twitter, watching a lot of YouTube, been reading a lot of content. My trading has improved immensely over the past sort of 3-4 weeks because I've just been studying different ways to read markets. So we got an order block here. Pepe could find a bit of resistance here. If it doesn't find resistance here, then the next set level would be up at this potential region. So these are the sort of things that I've been working on to help educate people in GTG, to improve my trading so that I can be comfortable moving into a bear market, all these sorts of things. And as you can see, Pepe, I've got some orders up here not orders, but alerts up here because that's where Sexy likes Pepe as well for a short. So these are the sort of things that we've been focusing so intently on. And it was so nice to step away. Not like, don't get me wrong, I love working, but it was nice to have that in-between week last week where I didn't have to work, but I could spend time learning and think about, okay, well, what is 26 going to look like for me? Or what is my 26 trading plan and all these sorts of things. So Paulina makes a good point here. It's a lot of people are saying it's a short squeeze. Like, I mean, I'm like, that's basically another word for a lower high. And then like, I would agree. It's a short squeeze. I just think it's not, I would say a short squeeze is a low time frame setup. I'm going to say it's a lower high, which is a higher time frame, as in it probably plays out over weeks, probably maybe a couple of months, rather than a short squeeze that plays out over a couple of days. I think that's a big separation that I think what we're starting to notice. I mean, if you look, Craig, and why I'm pretty bullish to hold a few things right now is the weekly. Okay, we have weekly stochastic bottomed. This is the first time we've had weekly stochastic bottom literally since the rally of April, where we had the tariff dip. Okay, and that's again, this is why TA, this is why you should join GTG, because we literally talk about this. Hey, Craig, like it's all about just understanding how it works. Like this is the bottom. Okay, this is the first time we've set a higher low here. Okay, is there bullish divergence? Nah, no bullish divergence. But what you're seeing is a high low here, maybe a breakout here, bottomed out stochastic, momentum to the outside. That is the perfect trade. That is exactly what, like, you do not get trades like this very often. Like, think about Pengu back earlier in the year, Craig. This breakout here. Same again, bottomed out stochastic, way back here, breakout, higher lows forming, bang, look at that. Like, you do not get trades like this. You get trades like this maybe 3 times a cycle. And we literally are starting to face this. So did I catch everything? No, because I still was watching what Bitcoin was doing. But am I keen to see what's happening here? Absolutely. Am I keen to see, well, okay, do we still have time? Yeah, absolutely. So something like Pengu, for example, could trade up all the way to the 786, could trade halfway back down here, set that high low. That's where I become very interested. Long this or buy some spot here. Okay, a stop loss below here. Bang. Okay, that's an easy trade as long as we get a pullback. Maybe we don't get pullback. Okay, maybe it's pull up. But look at this. It's a 4.7, very easy trade back up to the 6.6, 618. Like those, like I cannot wait to plow some money into some trades like that.
Yeah, exactly right. Pengu was my other call. So the couple I looked at was, well, I looked at a few, but Pepe, and then second to that was Pengu. I like both charts. Pengu, I don't mind either. It's got a bit of work to do by the look of it for me to get really excited. But like you just said, provided you catch, I mean, if that can pull back slightly and you catch the dip and then it sends, you could get a 2-3x quite, I won't say stress-free, but lower risk reward. I think we're looking for risk rewards here, and the risk rewards here starting to look good for the first time in, I think, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I've gone, hang on, I think I can make money in these again semi-safely, rather than being a complete degenerate and just being like, I'll keep buying the bottom, but the bottom just never ends, right? And it just keeps dumping. I didn't want to get in a perpetual cycle, which I did in 21, whereas when things pulled back at the end of cycle, I was like, no, I'll buy the dip, because you just get that ingrained in you, and it keeps dipping, and you just end up waiting 2 years on a coin that may never pump again. So I'm pretty cautious with my trading. Exactly. But these setups now, like if I'm saying these are starting to look good, then, you know, I'm probably one of the more pessimistic people, probably similar to Greeny, in that we're quite cautious with the market and we don't want to wreck people or just go, ham in and get the viewership up, but actually wreck people's bank accounts. You know what I mean? So not financial advice, but, you know, you and me, the thing I like about you and me is I think we're quite reasonable, which is probably what people didn't like Q4 last year. Because we're probably telling them the bad news they didn't want to accept. There were people out there, you know, I got a few DMs from people Q3, Q4 last year, basically saying shut the F up, stop being bearish. Quite aggressive messages, actually. People that I've traded with for a long time. And what I found interesting was not so much their aggressiveness towards me, that's not personal, but it gave me a pretty good insight into people's psychology. Yeah. And I was like, man, if what I'm saying is rustling your jimmies that much, I'm not sure if your conviction is that great. And I don't think you know your levels. Not saying mine are correct, but just to say you need to believe. Yeah. I don't believe in anything, man. Like just about. I believe in data and charts. So back to the story. Pepe looks great. Pengu looks great. I agree. Rec looks good. I need to probably... I've been wanting to get into Rec for a while.
Craig, literally, it's still probably I mean, it's also, I farm OpenSea with it too. So I bought actually, like people might disagree with me because I'm losing money, but basically I owned a Moonbird. I bought it at 1.58 ETH, I think a few weeks ago. It went down in value. It then went back up yesterday, and I saw a bid. Literally, I was like, an offer at the level that I was like, well, I'm just gonna farm like OpenSea. I sold it into that. I then moved some ETH back on chain, and I bought a lot of Rect via OpenSea, and then I bought 2 more Moonbirds at about 1 point. So I missed the move was like 0.15 ETH, and I was like, whatever, I don't really care. But I moved, like, I then bought 2 more Moonbirds at about 1.75 ETH. They're up to 1.8 in a bit now. So I'll try swing trade them maybe to 3-4 ETH, depending on how bullish they really get into their TG. But these are the sort of signs now. Like I just marked out again. This is the sort of education that we're talking in GTG. Massive shout out to Cappy and Sexy and Aussie for teaching me these. Plus, obviously giving me resources to really focus on low time frame trading again. But like these are just simple identifying order blocks on like a daily or on a 3-day on a weekly, and just being patient for this. Like just being patient. Like a really good example is Tau, right? Tau traded, like a lot of people would have been like, nah, it's not going low, it's not going low. There is this weekly order block here on Tau that a lot of people wouldn't have even realized. It traded all the way back into this level and has pumped from that level. So it's like TA is so important. If you don't understand that or value add, that you're literally missing so much wealth of knowledge in the markets. But something like this, where I am very interested in accumulating maybe a little bit of Pengu, but something like this actually might be pretty valid for a short right now. But again, as always, not financial advice. Maybe I'll have a look. We have wicked up exactly into this level where we have multiple times of resistance, okay, up in here. Maybe trade back into here, and then we get that relief rally. Complacency bounce against this high time frame analysis here, resistance here. And as you can see, 12 hours overextended, so maybe it flops over and does something like that as well.
Agreed. And that's one of the reasons I haven't entered Pengu yet with this on this move. Whereas Pepe, I am keen on this. I still think, like you said, I think could be a good short opportunity and then an entry. Yeah. And then I think the risk reward is quite good. But again, good to see clean setups, which I haven't seen in months, man, months and months for me. So nice to see. Obviously, it's not all the meme coins. So if for anyone listening out there, I don't think this is a sign. Look, I might regret this, but I don't think everything's going to run. No. I think your top memes are going to run. I think the key is to look at the setup. So it's not the meme coin you like not the name necessarily, but look at the setup. So, so even the meme coins you don't like, if the setup's good, you could still make money. So yeah, I guess that's a good thing to keep in mind as well. Not all of these are going to do well, just like not all altcoins are going to do well. So I don't think in other words, I guess what I'm saying is don't look for the laggers in memes or alts and think, well, these are going to pump. They may not. They might slightly pump, but I think the leaders are going to lead. And that for me is why Pepe, I feel confident on, because I think if there is continuation in the market, the first movers or the strongest movers, I think will probably continue to be, and that's your Pepes, your Pengus, probably your Fart coin, like you said, your SPX, your Rect. There's probably a handful of probably 10 or 15 in a basket that are quite good. And then I think the rest will probably lag regardless of how hot the market is. So yeah, that's probably another thing. I wouldn't just throw money like back in 21 with alts where you could just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick one that will do a 2, 3, 5x. I think those days are done. But I think the strong ones, I'm starting to feel confident in that we could get some returns here. So I think the good news is this quarter, man, I could start to make some money again, which will be which will be fantastic. Mog as well. Shout out to Mog. Broke above that resistance level. I do like to see that. Well, I'm trying to keep my swearing down, Greeny. There's a lot of, I almost said it there, Sherbet. There's a lot of work to do for Mog. For me versus Pepe, I think Mog's there's a lot of muck above, and your fibs show a pretty clear story there. I am semi-bullish on Mog. What's your take on Mog, actually?
Nah, I mean, like, this is the thing. Like, a lot of these charts, like, if you zoom in, like, a lot of these charts are way too extended for me to have a look at them. So how I would trade this is now I be patient and I wait for price to come back to a level where I'm very interested, maybe looking to buy some spot, okay, or look for longs down in this sort of region. So, like, you've missed this high time frame move, right? So, like, you've missed this high time frame move. It's all about now staying patient. If this keeps rallying, so be it, okay? It doesn't fit. Again, this is my trading plan. This is how I like to trade. This is how I've made over $1 million trading this cycle, right? Is like working, like being patient for, being greedy for an entry, okay? And then being flexible on an exit, taking profit, being happy with that, okay? Numerous times. My pinned tweet, and on so many comments like, you didn't do this shit. I literally pulled up my old tweet of when I sold my Mad Lads, and I was like, here you go, bro. Here's one example of me doing it in public, and no reply, of course. Dickhead. Anyways, it is what it is. People on Twitter have no life. I'm literally going to put it out there. People on Twitter who bully online literally have no life. Anyways, so something like this for me, come back, trade back into this level, give me a macro high or low. That's where I become interested, okay? Very clear stop loss below this level. And then you're just targeting these higher fips, okay? And scale out profit along the way. Match that with like sort of bottomed out stochastic on high time frames here as well. But yeah, I mean, if this does keep rallying, so be it. I mean, that's just not how I like to trade. Unless you're capturing bottoms here by maybe you're a wedge trader and you caught this bottom like that, or I mean, I'm still so mad about it. Look, my trade is still here. I'm so mad about Bonk, but something like this, right, where it's already hit my first TP from my entry here. If I had just held it, idiot. But it is what it is. But I would be watching. Okay, where does this high low come in? Maybe it's a really sharp, like a shallow high low, and then you get that that rally from here to there. These are the sort of things that you'd be looking at because high time frame is bottomed at least on stochastic. So that means that we do have room to run to the upside.
Yeah, agreed. Bonk, I didn't even have my eyes on, but I heard people in GTG going, "Holy crap, check Bonk out." I was like, "Whoa, even Bonk's moving." I'm like, "What?" Like, I don't know who's buying Bonk, but I guess the setup was right. Right. So it's all about the setup there, really, rather than the name. Yeah. And that's a lesson for me, is not to ignore ones that I just don't understand the meaning.
And that's a lesson I've learned too, Craig. Is ignore personal bias, ignore emotions, and just look at what the chart presents. And that is the best way to go about crypto.
Because it's the most vanilla meme, isn't it, Bonk? Like, for me.
Okay, so that shows me that you don't even understand Bonk as well, right? It's an ecosystem. It's also got trading bots. It's also got trading tokens that people are launching specifically on Bonk rather than Pump.fun. It's a competitor to Pump.fun. So it's bigger than that too. And that's it. Like, a lot of people still don't even realize that Bonk is an ecosystem. It's not even just a meme coin, right?
They're benefiting from USD1 and partnership with. Okay, cool.
They got their own stable coin.
Yeah. Thanks, John. That's good info. Thank you.
Yeah. So, where else do you want to take this conversation?
I mean, we could just cover NFTs real quick. You kind of have covered them somewhat, but I guess people would like to see sort of what the price are doing. And the good news is, just like meme coins, your top NFTs are starting to move now. So great to see Pudgy Penguins up about 10%, Moonbirds up 15 on the big ones, and I think the little Pudgies up 11. What are Mythics up by? Did they move?
Let me have a look. Sorry,
it's 10-15%. I can't see them. There we go, 9%. Sorry,
yeah, so not much. Yeah.
Milady's obviously had a pump with Vitalik changing his PFP, as always happens with them. I'm not going to enter that because obviously that's just based off him changing his PFP. I'm not going to chase that. But nice move for Milady's. I think they had about a 30% move on the day when he did that or something like that. Great to see. But look, NFTs, probably a lot of people underwater on these still, even though these are up sort of 10 to 15%, on the daily, on the weekly. I'm still holding. I haven't been buying, but a shout out to anyone who bought Pudgy Penguins or Little Pudgies or Moonbirds on the lows. That was probably good buys, man. And that was something after meme coins pumped that I was going to divert my attention to. And then I opened it up yesterday and these started to run already. I was like, fuck, I missed my entries. But NFTs, I'm a little bit, I've got my big Pudgy and it's underwater slightly, so I'm not in a really ravenous mood to be buying these up. But I think the entries were good for people. These I'm even more cautious about coming into Q2 this year. So you've been buying these to farm OpenSea. Is there any of these that interest you just from a flip perspective?
Definitely Moonbirds. I mean, I was speaking to a few people about Pudgies because Abstract I think we should talk about briefly as well. Like I have done nothing different in the past month and my XP got nerfed 90%. I think it was personal attack, actually. Like the more I chat to GTG members, the more I look at other people on the timeline, the more I look at Eli and how many transactions that guy hasn't done and how many I have done and on Myriad. And it's not like I haven't put hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of volume through Myriad over the past month. And then my XP gets nuked because maybe I only hold like $1,000 on the chain. It's like, it seemed a bit personal, I think. So I don't know if it was a manual review. And in Saigar's tweet, which is just dumb, man, because I gave these guys feedback 3 months ago and they've implemented a lot of this feedback and not once did they say thank you. Not once did they say thank you. And it's fucking bullshit because I've got the DM here to prove it if anybody would love to see that. So it's just a bit shit. I think that's what I don't like about what the way that they've gone about it. Breeze, can you DM us? If you're looking for a full-time job to clip our content, Breeze, please DM me. I'd love, like, we would like to pay you potentially move into 2026.
Yeah, shout out to Breeze. Yeah, I wonder about that. Obviously, I mean, the interesting thing is if you look at the data and your points don't correspond to other people's XPs, then it starts to look a bit fishy.
It makes no sense because I also have the bonuses too. So I don't know if it's not like I was earning a lot of XP anyway, but you don't nerf some, like, how do I, like, no, none of my habits, I hadn't bridged any money off in about a month. None of my habits had changed at all. If anything, I had increased the amount of myriad markets predictions that I had made, et cetera, et cetera. So I had increased the amount of volume I had, but they nerfed my XP by 90%. Like, it just makes no
big drop.
Yeah, like, I am still a Giga Chad. I still own my Pudgy Penguin. So I still have 120. Like, that proves my point even more that it's fucking bullshit. I think that
probably would have got about 200 XP without Giga Chad.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, so hold on a minute. This seems very personable. I don't know why that this is happening.
Did they message you back to that tweet?
Hell no. Like, as if they, like, that's the one thing.
Why don't they?
Because their comms, dude, it's, I have
a lot more. Their comms are lacking, mate.
Yeah, I'm not here to FUD a project. I'm not here to FUD a business. I'm not here to FUD people on the timeline. But far out, man, I could give them some bloody good feedback around how to structure things. I know, like, I just think, I mean, I wrote about this too. Hold on, where is it? Someone, blah, 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 blah.
I like how someone, Alwyn, in there completely diagnosed your account. That made me laugh.
Yeah, I was like, it hasn't changed a month.
That's good. I mean, not calling him out. He actually did you a solid there by doing that.
Here, this one. Yeah. I think I quote, how can I, you can't read your bloody, can I see post engagement? Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right, here's my point. So this is what so many people don't realize where crypto currently is. And this is why crypto's in the absolute shitbox, in my opinion, right now. So for clarity, you're just getting led to the slaughterhouse. So basically, like, this is just, I mean, shout out to this account. I don't even know them, but basically it's like, if you want to get good XP from now on, you need to spend $10,000 a week. You need to have at least the same amount of assets as you hold, blah, blah, blah. You need to write 7 posts a day on X about it to keep, and do this for 2 years. And maybe you'll get rewarded eventually. I was like, that is so bloody true right now. So I wrote about it. I was like, this is literally how you feel about all new chains, all new products in crypto right now. I'm keen for a new trend to emerge in 26. For clarity, you're just getting led to the slaughterhouse. Point systems, farming periods, OpenSea waves, XP systems, MetaMask leaderboard, perp platforms, bonus resorts, all to farm more volume and have more on-chain assets in their product. Everything is hidden behind a gamification wall to make the user stay addicted without realizing it. Every new chain, every new perp dex, every new platform, it's literally all the same. Like, Craig, am I out to lunch, or is that a bloody fair take? Is that a fair take?
No, that's pretty much how we operate here in crypto, really. And that's how the devs and the creators mostly win, and how the user mostly loses, unfortunately. I mean, I'm hoping Abstract will be different. I mean, from my point of view on that, I mean, your points is interesting. And we've spoken about this before, and so have many other people in the timeline. I just want to see the communications improve. One of the communications I like to see improved is a reasonable time frame on TGE. Probably not something as abstract, excuse the pun, as when what was the call? When we were at a similar level to base or something. And it's
second level to base, yeah.
It's like, man, I don't know what that means. Do you mean do you mean volume? Do you mean vibes? Like, because if you mean vibes, well, they're gone now. Because obviously memes and NFTs got slaughtered.
I don't think they'll ever hit base's level of liquidity, volume transactions.
No,
like, I don't think they. I mean, ever's is probably the wrong word. I just don't think they get there in the time frame that they think they were going to.
Well, we need them to, more importantly, and
I think like, if you're gonna nerf someone like me, who is like these are just the dumbest things. Like, I like, maybe they changed XP, but I just like. The fact that I went down 90%.
Mine hasn't changed at all.
No, and even in GTG where I was
chatting up last week, I did nothing else.
Exactly. Like, I think maybe they nerfed the amount people are holding on. Like, if you're holding more meme coins or something, you got more XP than previously. Like, which I mean, it's just if you're gonna like, it's just kind of dumb to probably do it to someone who's loud on the timeline. Like
Especially a champion, someone who championed them since day one.
I literally,
And
literally
maybe
helped
had
you, helped you out in DMs. You sought me out, send me a DM. I'm talking the top dog on this platform. I send you a massive feedback. He's like, oh, wow, this is good. I said, damn right, it's good because I know what I'm bloody doing. And then you get no thankful, no, like, no, nothing.
Yeah, not even a Christmas hamper.
Shits me off. Shits me off.
By the way, the daily close on Bitcoin would have just happened.
Oh, that means the weekly close just happened as well.
So let's. Oh, not bad, bro. Not bad. She's not bad.
We're actually moving up. We're moving up.
Yeah, which I'm semi-surprised about, but happy. But no, just to pivot back to abstract real quickly, I mean, they know this, but I'm just not seeing it happen quick enough, is communication needs to improve. And I know they've spoken about it, but I've yet to really see it happen day after day after day after day. And that's the challenge with any creator or founder or staff is to turn up every day and keep consistent at what you need to improve on, right? So I feel like they have days of good comms and then they just fall off again. And then some good comms. I think they need to start highlighting creators. Eli piped on about this. And at first I was like, he's being a sook. And now I think about it, I'm like, fair call, Eli. Like, I don't know why they haven't given him a spotlight, to be honest. Like, Eli has absolutely put that chain on his back for 6 months, right? So they should have a creator of the day, creator of the week, maybe not of the day. It's probably a bit much. Maybe creator of the week or month or whatever. Maybe give that creator some bonus XP. And the other thing I want to bring up is streamers still aren't getting any extra XP. Because when I stream or when I don't, I see no difference in XP. Now, I think streamers are going to bring people to the chain to watch, right?
Or people who tweet about you, yeah.
So there's some things they need to change or improve. Look, Luke is obviously a smart guy. I reckon there was a few internal things that perhaps Luca was focusing on other things and took his eye off the ball in abstract is probably what I think happened. When I say took his eye off, he obviously delegated, which you have to do in his position. I think who he delegated to let him down a little bit, which is why you saw people stepping down from positions. That's my theory. I don't know that. I haven't got that confirmation. That's what it looks like. So I hope look, I'll give them a little bit of grace. It is the start of the year. They've probably been away on holiday a little bit. So I'd like to see their communications improve. Well, I'm back at work today, Greenie. So I'd like to see them back at work in the next week or so and starting to improving communications. I will chat on tomorrow's stream about a few of the newer games. I won't do it today just because time's gone on a bit, but there are a few new games. I played one yesterday, which is pretty cool. So there is some new stuff on there that looks pretty good. There are a few games on there which aren't gambling based, which actually aren't too bad. So there's hope there. But yeah, for me, it's like a relationship in it, isn't it? Communication is first always, even if the news is bad.
Here's my message. So the person I use uses self-destruct timer. So luckily I use ChatGPT to help me sort of like rewrite what I wanted to say. Look at this point down the bottom. I sent this, I don't even know, October, September. I doubled down on creator support and co-marketing. The people who are actually building here, a little push, marketing help, collabs, incentives goes a long way in this one. That has not happened. That has not happened.
No, and I think what I'd like to see, and it's not just because you and me did it. I think if I had a chain or I wanted to launch something, people going on there and streaming themselves playing the games and talking about them like you and me do, I think it's really important. I think it's really important because it's very different from, say, Dyla, or shout out to her, she's a legend, or any of the other staff playing a game and hyping it. Yeah. I think what you really want is people like you and me who aren't on the team, who aren't getting paid by the team, to take our time for free. Admittedly, we run a channel, we need content, sure, but you and I can pick content from anywhere in crypto, right? We don't have to pick that, but we choose to pick it because we enjoy it. We saw there was an opportunity with an upcoming TGE. I think, if these people like you or me or anyone else playing the games and showing them off, highlight that creator, and probably if you get creative of the week, throw them, for, 50,000 extra XP, man. You start doing that, you'll see creators go bonkers, bro. And they will market for you for free. So you don't even need, then you've got people like you and me working for free, like we were doing 6 months ago.
literally just help, like support them, repost it, talk about it, like
Even just
like
a repost, bro. Don't even
or
give
even
me
like
a
a quote repost to say, "Oh, I love or green it." Like, dude, it just like little things like that goes a long way for creators. And if they're not going to do that, then there's a reason I haven't streamed on the platform in months. There's a massive reason for that. And it's not like I'm an idiot either. Like, I actually care about this shit, and I care so much that I gave feedback. But these are the sort of things. So I don't know. The vibes are different when Eli, you all previously. Yeah, I mean, Alyssa hasn't been on there in 6 months plus, and a couple of other big streamers aren't on Abstract. Well, I mean, exactly right. Like, there's a reason we aren't all on there, right? There's a reason we don't even talk about it anymore, right?
Is
Like,
the upside? The upside's gone. Well, it
Mhm.
disappeared for 3 months at least. Memes got absolutely destroyed. I mean, look, that was crypto wide,
Yeah,
but there was a real opportunity for them as a team while things were hot to ram it home, and they missed it. I would say Q1 now is critical.
yeah.
Critical, like for their communications. Like, I'm almost like, please do this because I'm sorry, you and me are both platinum. You and
No,
me,
am I? I don't even know.
yeah, you beat me to it. No,
Now that
you
I'm
beat me
getting now that I'm getting 1,000 XP, I don't even give a shit anymore.
Look, you're still probably going to get a pretty handsome drop potentially, Greeny. So you might have to start faking your enthusiasm for a little bit here.
Well, you know what I do care about, Greg, is Myriad Markets. And I've been going to town. I am now officially inside the top 800 on the platform.
It's pretty impressive.
I've been going to town on this platform. I'm up over 2x in terms of where I am, 790. I was about 1,600 about a month ago. So people are, oh, you're not using Abstract. Shut the hell up, bro. I have been. And I've been making.
Ari's still there, man. Get out of
This
it.
guy's been printing. He's up like 100K. He's up 100K, bro, on Myriad.
This guy?
I followed him recently on Twitter.
Ari, let's go, man. And Farquhar, what's that? No, who's that head? Farquhar.
Lord Farquhar. Yeah, I love it.
Good on you. Nah, good. I mean, they're going to do it. They're going to do a stimmy as well, aren't they, Myriad?
And so, I don't know if I just don't know if Myriad Markets volume is or maybe I've pushed up like we just. I mean, and everyone's like, "Oh, Greeny, you don't understand XP, bro." I wrote about XP. I created videos about XP that you all watched. So if anyone understands how it works, and I fucking understand how it works, right? Anyways, I don't know if maybe I pushed myself up into that next bracket where I'm now in the mid zone where a lot of people are, and that's how maybe XP got nerfed on Myriad Markets. I don't even know. Like, that would be the only reason that I think, unless I hold less on the platform. But this is the thing too. I'm not going to just go and blindly hold Memecoins or NFTs on a chain just to farm an XP bonus system and then get paid, like lose thousands of dollars and then get back an airdrop of a couple $100. Like, just like makes no sense to me. Like, that is literally like not what crypto's about. That's not what crypto is about.
And unfortunately, we've seen that play out before, so it's not crazy talk.
No.
There were people there's been other chains where people have farmed, like Blur Season 2. Was it Season 2? That wasn't as great, which is quite typical because it's the second season. But there's been other times like this where what you're worried about has actually occurred, which is probably why you're worried that it could occur again, because it mostly does. It would buck the trend. It would buck the trend to say if you lost 40K on memes, but then got a 100K airdrop. That would be unusual. It would mostly be you lose 40K and you get a 10K airdrop. So you lose 30 and you go, oh, okay, I got my 10, but you're like, well, fuck, I could have had 40 if I hadn't lost my 30. So anyway, things for Abstract to think about. Might actually look to get Dialer on the stream again, and actually,
that might be a good idea. Yeah,
no, because it's one thing for us to theorize, but maybe another thing to get them on. So yeah, I might reach out to and say, hey, if you've got some stuff coming up for Abstract, do you want to get us excited? Come on and have a chat. What you guys are doing moving forward, and maybe we could present this feedback to her live on show, and maybe some of the viewers could as well. So she's a great chick. I think she does a great job. I just want to see
100%.
I just want to see the creators supported, right? Because
and I think
we put in a lot of work.
I think more clarity than Saigar just tweeting, right? Like, I think you need to have like an announcements board in the Discord or have an announcements board on the platform. It can't be just one account on Twitter. Like, half the people using the platform probably aren't even on Twitter. That's the other thing. Like, there's so many pieces of feedback I'd give, but again, it's not my place. It's not my build. I should just focus on building what I'm building.
Agreed. But no, we'll look to get her on. Actually, we've got I reached out to Bren Is it Brent Trades? Is that
Yeah,
his
yeah,
name?
yeah. He streams every morning, I think, or he was
Yeah.
streaming every morning. Yeah,
So he's going to jump on with us
epic.
this week or next week. I'm just planning it with him now, which is great. He's been a great trader. He's been someone that I've watched for a little while
He's
now.
been bullish. He's been so bullish. I
He
love it.
has been bullish, a little bit different to you and me, but he did swap his stance a little while ago. But no, I think another good trader to get on. So we will
Definitely.
be looking to certainly get on a lot of traders, a lot of creators, a lot of even artists, NFTs. We'll see where the market goes, who people want to watch. But certainly this year we'll be looking to load up a lot of good guests. I mean, I know Greeny and I think those are some of the best streams when you get rock star guests on, man. You just get to unpick their brains about stuff. People, potentially smarter than us who, those are the people you want to talk to. So we've got a lot coming this year, guys. We might even have a name change coming, Greeny.
Yeah, yeah, we might have a name change, guys. Should we chat? Should we do you guys want to help us with which name you prefer? I mean, or do we the reason we didn't post it last time so that the username doesn't get taken, all that sort of stuff. So it's maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. I think
We're
we
looking
can.
for something more generic, less not
Yeah,
generic, but shorter. GC Crypto TV is just a bit long off the tongue. It has TV in it, which I don't particularly like.
I say.
And things like that. So we're looking for more generic sort of podcasting name, guys. So you guys want to throw some names at us, feel free. And once again,
shout out to David Bird, who's a legend, also a trader in Australia.
Too, please.
But new Lego, yeah.
Whatever you want, Breeze. Whatever you want, man.
Breeze, I just sent you a DM too about clipping, so please respond to that, and we can come to an arrangement. I'd love to. Yeah, don't worry. The new logo and everything will be there'll be new. And
we'll keep the same logo, different name.
Yeah, background will change. We'll have to do an intro change. We'll have to do
a whole bloody lot.
But I think it's the right step in the direction. As always, GC Crypto is great, but it is. I mean, it's just Greeny Crate Crypto. That's where the originality comes from. So we want it to be bigger and better than that. Something that rings off the tongue really nicely. I thought this is again. As someone that's hopefully buying a house in the new year, in the coming months, I thought this was really interesting that Melbourne and Sydney have had negative growth in the past year in Australia. Whereas Brisbane in the southeast corner, Craig, is absolutely thriving and is now the second most expensive city in the country. So I think Australia property, and this is conversations that we have on this channel. If you are new here, we talk about everything, okay? Because it's about everyday costs, it's about property. We talk about everything, okay? As always, not financial advice, but we like to talk about trending topics, about decisions that we're making as well. I'm about to turn 31 in a few months' time. So it's hard to choose the name. We've got two that we like. But we probably won't talk about them on stream. But Craig, what are your thoughts about this? I feel like we have, particularly me, the Sunshine Coast, it's such a limited, small space. And you've come up here, you've got family up here as well.
Yeah.
For me, it's as much as I don't want to commit X amount of money into the property market, it might be just, you have to get in because you're going to, in 3, 4, 5 years time, the median house price of this area could be 1.5, 2 million, that. It could be double. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, I've been following this for a while, the property prices. I did see Melbourne and Sydney had a pullback. And I think part of the reason for that was actually COVID. So you found a lot of people from Melbourne and Sydney, with being able to work from home remotely, decided to live in areas they'd prefer to live in. So Gold Coast, where I am, and similar to close to Greeny, they pumped, including Brisbane. What do I think about the property market? It's so hot at the moment, but at the same time, someone like you is looking for a family home. I don't think it's always about buying the bottom as much as you'd like to. It's how long is your wife? This is where marriage comes into our chat sometimes. How long is your wife willing to wait? If you say, no, babe, we have to wait 5 years to buy a house to get the bottom, she's going to be like, well, I want to potentially have a baby, get pregnant, all that stuff. That's probably coming along the line. It's not saying for you it is. You don't have to do that, but that's what I would
like to do that, Craig. I would like to do that.
There we go. So if baby Greeny's got to come along, I'm going to guess my wife, we looked around to buy a house for about a year. We couldn't find anything. And then a month before she was due to give birth, we found our house. So I understand the urgency. It's certainly the urgency of a female that's looking to make babies, how much they want to nest and somewhere to feel safe and secure. So sometimes buying a home is not always about getting a good price. It's about keeping your family life steady, secure, safe. Let them feel safe, because if your wife feels safe, you're going to probably have a better time, put it that way. And look, buying. I mean, I thought I was buying the top of the property market when I bought at 490. It was red hot, dude. Like when we bought at 490, I was like, holy crap, 500,000 for a house. It's now worth 1.3.
Yeah, in what, like 8, no, 10 years, 12 years,
10.
10 years, yeah.
10 years. So it's up 700,000 in 10 years. Good time to flip, man, probably. But once again, I don't want to treat my house as a asset per se. My kids' schools, it's a 2-minute walk down the road. It's a great school. It's one of the best in the region. We've got so many good schools around us. I've had lots of people saying to me, oh, you know, we've got my mother-in-law who lives in Melbourne. She's like, I'll come to Melbourne. There's so much more action there, blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, dude, I don't want more action. I want less action in this time of my life because I want to focus on, you know, growing my wealth, streaming with you. I don't want outside distractions. I don't want people saying, let's go to the bars and pubs. No, thank you. Probably the same as you, Greenie. You just want a home that you can dial in on, make babies, be happy with your wife, have a great marriage. Because the reality is, man, if your marriage is rocky, trading sucks, bro. Like trading stress when you're fighting with your wife is probably the worst thing I've experienced in the world. If I'm having fights with my wife, trading is horrendous, man. Like it's so shit.
I mean,
so,
like you want ease of living. I mean, like I've said on this channel before, like getting a deposit is the hardest part of a house, right?
It is.
And doing that in a tax efficient way when you run a business is also very difficult. So
yes.
That's the main hindrance I have at the moment, the main struggle that we're trying to force. But then if I think about numbers, it makes so much sense to have a mortgage where you're paying, say, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a week compared to paying $800 in rent and trying to save another $1,500 a week to save for a mortgage, right? Like you're out, like you would save, you could be like anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per week you could save by having a mortgage. Now you obviously have to get the deposit first, and then rates could go up and down. You have fees. You're probably going to renovate some things, of course. But in the same conversation, it makes so much more sense in my mind to be like, then you have that stability. You got that shelter. You want to start a family in some way, so you don't having to bounce around again. It gives you flexibility. Like this house here that we live in, I'd love to change so much about it, but I can't because it's a rental.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, sure, it's a lot of money to put out the gate straight away. I might have to pay a shit ton of tax to get some money out of the business into our personal names. But in the same conversation, it'll pay dividends in the long run. And hopefully the equity, like you said, at least in this area, this premium area that we live, it will hopefully, I mean, maybe like it could, even in 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, it could be worth already like 500 grand more. You just don't know. You don't know, right?
Quite possibly. And I think the good thing about where we live is I think we're kind of buffered a little bit because I think it's a lifestyle destination as well. So I think where you are will probably continue to see growth. Could it have a pullback? Yes, but I dare say it may be less than some of those hotter city areas, which are probably worked. I mean, they're so overpriced, bro. Some of the Sydney houses, Sydney's been overpriced for ever.
Oh yeah, Sydney's ridiculous, bro.
I'm so glad I don't live there. Shout out to
Sydney. Caught up with your mate the other day when we were in Sydney. I won't name his name, but and we had a catch up with him, a couple of drinks, and I was chatting to him about how he just bought his second house, and it was absurd. It was like 1.8 million for his second. I was like, oh my god, bro, that's nuts. I was like, that's nuts.
And he can renovate them as well because he's in construction. So for him, he can buy houses that are potentially overpriced, renovate, get a win. I can't. That's not my skill set. So but no, I think buying a home, I think it's an important thing. What I think about property prices, though, I think we'll see a pullback on property. The only problem is I follow charts that I haven't been alive and experienced live, so I'm really resistant to say, you know, the 18-year real estate cycle and things like that. I've seen it in theory work, but I've yet to.
Well, Jason Pizzino is like so obsessed with that, Craig. Like, how much do you think it works?
Look, it looks like it does, but again, I'm one of those people in life. I always need to feel it to believe it. I've always been told that, like, if people said don't do this, it's bad, I'm the first person to do it to figure out whether it's good or bad. So I like to find out for myself. Fuck, F around and find out. Yeah, it's a good chart list. I think we do operate within this. I think crypto and all markets operate within these cycles. Whether it's real estate that leads it, that's probably up for debate.
Is it the business cycle? Is it liquidity?
Could be business cycle. as well. Like it is the business cycle. Like above crypto is definitely the business cycle. It's where real estate and business cycles sit within that. But I guess it ultimately maybe doesn't matter. I think what's more important is understand there are cycles. And I think the important thing for crypto people is to understand, and this goes back to the 4-year cycle with the halving. The halving, I don't think, is necessarily the big catalyst of the 4-year cycle moving forward. There's a business cycle above us that is probably a greater influence than the halving cycle. That's my take on that. That probably doesn't help you with your real estate question at all, though, unfortunately.
Oh, look, it's just a good conversation to have. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
can relate to it, and I think it's just relevant. So hopefully people appreciate this conversation as well.
But I also think sometimes buying a home for your reasoning, you don't always need to get a financial win.
I think that's a big lesson I think I'm learning. I mean, I'm so money focused. I don't know why. I think maybe it's just who I am and
Kind of important,
my
though.
upbringing. But like yeah, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. And my sister's actually worse. Like my sister is yeah, like so like automated, so controlling of her, like won't shout anything. Like I shout shit all the time. And like I don't ever really ask for money back. And then like
I'm a big shouter too.
yeah, like I'll split a subscription or something like that. And then it's only more recently where I was like, hold on, I've been paying Spotify for like 10 years now for my whole family. It might be time it might be time you guys pay me back because I'm about to get my own mortgage, right? So it's like
I've had times where I go to jump on the rugby on Stan to watch a live game, and it says you can't watch because other people are watching. I'm like, what the F, Dad? Get off the I'm like, that's not even yours. Anyway, yeah, that's family stuff. But no, I'm definitely a lot looser with money than you. That I can tell. But the one good thing about getting into crypto is it has taught me really good financial habits, and that's probably one of the best things for me coming to crypto and investing. Is it taught me to be more like you, which has been a great. And I've just seen my wealth grow exponentially since streaming with you since 23, man. Like for anyone watching who doesn't have much money in their pockets. Just a quick story, I'll greenie myself, but more so myself here. In 21, I had a great run from 21 to 22, made good money, took some to the bank, thought I was a genius. Ended up seeing my port probably the start of 23, end of 22. I reckon I'd less than 10 grand, man. I reckon I'd less 10 grand in crypto, which is hard to, hopefully my wife didn't hear that because she always thought we were going well. But there were tough times where I went through where I had 10 grand or less, man. And I was like, I've spent 2 years in crypto now, and I've got some in the bank, but I've got 10 grand here. Lucky I stuck to it, dude. And that's where I'm saying if the bear market comes, guys, don't get afraid. Because from 23 to 25, man, let's just say that 10 grand went up significantly enough that I could pay that if I wanted to, the house out, right, I could pay my house off pretty quickly. I won't do that because I prefer to keep my capital, and obviously for tax purposes through a business, there's things you can do to obviously keep your tax down. I don't want to just do that. But certainly, if you ride the bear market, man, I guess what I'm saying is my first bull run, I guess when all things are said and done, I probably broke even. But then the second cycle, geez, man, but from learning from you, from learning from our viewers, from just learning from my mistakes, I was able to probably 100x that, or 1000x that. So stick around, guys. Even if when times get tough, man, my advice is stick around and learn and figure out what you did poorly the time before. Because if someone like me can turn it around, and I'm no genius, man, yeah, journal. The only thing I did was I decided, I did have a pinned tweet about this back in 23. I decided, no, rather than leaving and going back to a full-time job, I'm going to double down on myself. I'm going to start a stream with you. I'm going to start religiously learning. I always did it, but I decided to be a lot more honest with myself, where my weaknesses were. And that's probably the hardest thing for humans to do, is to step away and not just be critical, but not critical, truthful with yourself. Because it's quite easy in crypto to go, look, that pumped over there, I've got a loss over there, but that's okay. But when you start actually putting your numbers in a spreadsheet of your P&L, that can sometimes hurt, but that's sometimes the pain you need to see. So before we sign off, my advice is stick around, learn from your losses. You learn a lot more from your losses than your wins. Your wins, you learn very little. In my experience, I learn F all. My losses is where I learn. Because that pain, and that's why I've been a bit gun shy on memes, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose all the money I made, because it took me.
You have to take risks, and I think, and that, like, I'm so keen for a bear market because that is the
Yeah,
best
dude.
time to buy. And that's where I took my, like, and everyone's like, oh, like, when is the best time of the market? The best time of a market is literally at the start of the cycle, before everyone's even talking about
When it
crypto,
hurts to buy.
when it hurts to buy, when everyone's like worried about like, oh no, is it going to go lower? It's like, nah, that's usually a good time to buy. Like buying Solana at $17 to $30 was crazy.
I mean,
Like getting my
Bitcoin at
bag back.
16, 17K, man. I mean, like I
Oh
said, I didn't get that. You bought earlier than me, but I think I got in 28 to 32, 34.
yeah,
And I remember people then, I remember buying then, and keep this in mind, guys, you want to buy at the point when 99% of people say, no, we're going lower, we're going to 8K. For me, that was a big indicator back then. So I'm keeping my eyes open. I'm open for that. I'm hoping for 50K Bitcoin, man. Something around there will be.
I've got my orders set, and everyone's like, oh, that's like your cost basis is shit. I'm like, bro, that's like less than 1% of my whole portfolio that I'm just allocating to those spot buys over there. And like, it's okay, just for confluence, like, or not confluence, for clarity.
Mhm.
It's like I've only put 25K over there to buy. Guess how much Bitcoin at those, if those orders all hit towards 50K, guess how much Bitcoin I'll acquire just from those 25K?
0.3?
Point 4. Point
Yeah.
4. Like that's nearly half of Bitcoin just from like a small portion, and just not worrying about trying to time it at all. Just putting it over there, out of mind, out of sight. If they all hit, hell yeah, I'll
Even
probably
better.
be buying more myself elsewhere or actively on top of that. If they don't all hit, so be it. At least I caught a bit of it. Okay, like that's the thing. That's my thinking too.
And then if Bitcoin runs next run 200, 250, you got half a Bitcoin, you've got 125,000 US, man.
The goal,
That's
I mean, the
that's the
goal would
win.
be, I'd love to obviously have one, but I mean, to get like two would be kind of dope. Like,
Yeah,
again,
so
it depends on, if we're buying a house, then it's more unlikely that I'll get to multiple, and I trust my ability to trade better than holding Bitcoin, but it's a good passive way to go about it. And it's a good way. And again, we talk about this in GTG, we talk about this on the show, Craig, every day. It's about understanding your portfolio, your risk structure as a whole, and understanding there's elements of risk, there's elements of allocation that you need to have to different parts of that throughout the different timing of the cycle too. It's like this ever like variable scenario that changes every day, every week, every month, every year. And you need to understand how that works. And why and how do I understand how that works? One, I'm a teacher, so I learn shit and I educate others, so I can do that. But two, I've lived it myself. This is my third cycle, heading into my now fourth cycle. If this is a bear market, this shit, like hopefully my fourth cycle might not retire me, but hopefully my fourth cycle, I go from like my 1 million to like closer to 10 million. Like that is like, it's a 10x. It's a lot of money. I won't probably have liquid 1 million to trade with, but hopefully I can take maybe a couple 100,000, maybe 500K and turn that into like 2.5 to 5 million. And that's when you can that's the level where you can just be like, okay, well, I'll just go buy this ETF that pays me out 20 grand a year. Sick.
Yeah.
I'll go do this over here. I'll buy some gold over here. I'll buy some Bitcoin over here and just let it sit and then trade or do something else actively. Go back to teaching if I really want to, probably not, but like all these sorts of things, right? I love crypto. I love what I do. Everyone's still like, you go away for Christmas, your friends, they all still like, oh, crypto. They're like, they doubt you. And you're like, well, they will come a point. Would you ever retire? Nah, not from trading, like not from content and trading. I love it. I mean, like my good friend Zeneca gets to a level where he's very comfortable in terms of brand, in terms of what he's achieved with life, and he's a little bit older than me as well. And maybe like someone like him is definitely like on the what's like not the decline, but on the like to plateau of like just living life rather than working hard. I haven't got to a level where I can do that yet, right? And if we want to start a family, that's like, holy shit, that's $1 million for a kid, probably for 20 years, like whatever it is. So I haven't got where I need to be, right? But would I ever retire? No, not from this. Like, I mean, this is great. I love doing this stuff. So yeah.
No, I'm the same. Nah, too much fun. There's too many opportunities. And I think the good thing about crypto, man, is it constantly keeps your brain working. And that's what I like about it is you constantly have to flex your brain, use your muscle, look for angles and things like that. So no, I don't see myself leaving here anytime soon. I'd probably need 2 cycles, 2 more.
Yeah.
All things going well.
I mean, depends. Who knows how good we go? Who knows how good we go? They may like maybe there'll be another Solana trade where it's like Sui or something, and it's down at like 50 cents and it goes to $10. You're like, that's a 20x. It's just like you put 10 grand in that, that's 200K. Like you just forget about these sort of things. Like another Radiant play. Who knows? We'll wait and see.
Yeah, no, agreed. But no, other than that, Greeny, I think that's probably all the good stuff today. Like I said, tomorrow there's a couple of games on Abstract. I'll run us through. That look pretty good, but I think that's for tomorrow's show. Hopefully, hopefully everyone today got a little bit out of that. I see the numbers on X are pretty good for today, dude.
I did retweet. I reposted it twice. I quote tweeted it once. So you got
almost 600 viewers, man. That's not
good.
bad. End of last year, I think we're down to about 100 or 200. So
yeah.
got pretty dire for a bit, but that's just bear market stuff that happens. And unfortunately, as a creator, you have to be able to stomach that decrease in viewership, which definitely makes you go, oh man, here we go again. But look, you and I will turn up consistently. We did when Bitcoin was 20, 30K, we were here. So we'll be here when Bitcoin goes down to whatever, 70K, 50K. It doesn't actually matter because what goes up must come down, and what comes down, if it's Bitcoin, probably goes back up. So Yana's keen for a giveaway. Yana, we need volume, man. We need some volume on Yeet so we can do some giveaways. It's been pretty quiet over the Christmas period, which is obviously like all of us. We all went away. And we've had
no volume in weeks, so no giveaway today. If you can increase it, 42.7. If you can increase this to like 50K by the end of the week, we'll give away $250 cash later this week.
There you go, Yana, and you win every time, Yana. So chuck some.
But if you tune in live, maybe we'll give away cash as well tomorrow. So you just have to wait and see. But do some volume, otherwise it's not. I mean, our deal is like it's fluid, and I'm not just going to give away cash for the sake of giving away cash. Like it's not. That's not how it works. Okay, that's not how it works. Great show to be back. Good time to be back. Market's pumping. Love to see it. Happy New Year. Huge show, an hour and a half an hour too long, in my opinion. We need to be stricter with this, but it's good to catch up. Good to chat. My voice is bugging already. We're one day back.
Yeah, I'm out of practice. Now, Greeny, thanks for pulling up with me today. Been a great chat. We'll keep these chats going. To the viewers, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. First stream of 26. It's been a banger. Hopefully lots of good info. If you didn't catch the whole show, certainly go back and probably watch the first half an hour. We cover Bitcoin very, very thoroughly. As far as tuning out, I just want to give a big shout out to obviously Yeet. Guys, continue to gamble respectfully or cautiously, but certainly if you guys can increase the volume there, we'll do some giveaway. Shout out to the legends over at Yeet, and massive shout out to obviously OKX. Our first channel partner and biggest channel partner, safest exchange out there. Guys, links in the description. They are giving away $75 of Bitcoin if you do some volume over there. So that's a pretty good win. Giving away Bitcoin, that's probably the best thing you can be given. So I'd be all about that if I was you guys. So certainly jump over there and give it a crack. Greeny will be back same time tomorrow. We might play around with the times, guys, see what hits better. But hey, almost 500 today. Sheesh, that's exceeded my expectations. So guys, I just want to say thank you to the viewers, especially as well for pulling up today. You know, the more viewers that come, certainly it gets the excitement going. So, been a great show, Greeny. Thanks for pulling up with me today. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, guys, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. And hopefully Bitcoin's broken through 92, 93, and we can start getting really euphoric.
Easy, guys. Have a lovely Monday/Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.